Okay, let's have the teacher discussion. One of the more iconic verses that we use is James 3, where it says, "Not many should become teachers, my brothers, because you know that we will receive a stricter judgment." Now, the problem is, whenever we quote this verse, this is the only thing that we're citing. So when we hear that we receive a stricter judgment as teachers, we think it's in relation to what we are teaching. And kinda, but not in the way that we think. Because what does the immediate next verse say? "For we all stumble in many ways. If anyone does not stumble in what he says, he is mature, able also to control the whole body." Let me make this a little bit more simple or a little bit more concrete. When it comes to pastors or teachers that had a falling out, was the criticism of what they did or is the criticism of what they said? And the answer is yes. James doesn't make a distinction. In that same stream of thought where James says that not many should become teachers, and he starts talking about the tongue, he says in verse 11, "Does a spring pour out sweet and bitter water from the same opening? Can a fig tree produce olives, my brothers and sisters, or a grapevine produce figs?" James is combining two ideas here, both of which Jesus taught, where he says you'll recognize them by their fruit. He's talking about false teachers, false prophets. Are grapes gathered from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? In the same way, every good tree produces good fruit, and every bad tree produces bad fruit. And when it comes to the idea of what kind of water a spring produces, Jesus says, "How can you speak good things when you are evil? For the mouth speaks from the overflow of the heart." The heart, Proverbs says, we are to protect above all else because it is a source of life. The ESV would translate pretty correctly that from it flows the springs of life. The thing that James is getting at, the idea that he's building to, is that a teacher cannot be separated from their actions. And what they teach others, they are held to a greater accountability for. Not simply because of what they say, but because of what they do. And this is not foreign from what Jesus says, because we are judged by the same standard by which we judge others, and we are measured by the same measure that we use. Jesus' whole point in this is that the teachers of the law are looking for the splinter in somebody else's eye, but they don't notice the beam of wood in their own eye. The implication being here that they are unable to remove the splinter because they can't look into the scriptures, the word of life, because their view is obstructed. The warning here for teachers is that you cannot teach without self-evaluation. In order for me to wound you with the sword of the scriptures, I must first wound myself. And what you see a lot with teachers in the modern age, especially with social media, which is not a unique problem, it just exacerbates an already existing problem, is that we equate platform and influence to gifting and ability. And like I said, social media exacerbates this already existing problem. It's real easy for me to pick up a phone and record myself and teach you, and who am I accountable to? You? How are you going to hold me accountable? The only thing you get to see of my life is what I want to show you. And this is why I always say you need to be in relation